No doubt about it. And what we got right now is match number 4. It's going to be the 5th on the brackets that we showed you earlier. And the two players standing by eagerly. First, let's welcome Hua. From St. Paul, Minnesota, 36 years of age.
My name's Carl Barfus. My in-game name is Hwasong, and I'm from St. Paul, Minnesota. So I went in the military after high school, spent 13 years in the Army, and I was an intelligence analyst and a translator. Specifically, Korean was my language. And aside from Iraq and Afghanistan, spent about half of my career here in California, teaching Korean, learning it, and having fun with it. In Korean, if I were to say that I love to play Summoner's War, I would say, 제가 Summoner's War 하는 것이 너무 좋아합니다. 이렇게 오랫동안 즐겁게 이렇게 게임하는 것을 처음입니다.
And the man Hua's going to be facing off with, there he is. Not quite yet on your screen, there he is, above. From Tucson, Arizona, 25 years of age. Not just a student, but a model as well.
My name is Gabriel Mariscal, and my screen name's above. I'm from Tucson, Arizona. I first started modeling was 4 years ago. The most interesting thing for modeling I've done was for Abercrombie & Fitch, also for Hollister. It was the photo shoot for a cover. When I got invited for this event, I got really excited. I've been playing Summoner's War for 2 years now, and I really like the competitive aspect. So when I got invited to this, I really wanted to try out to do my best.
All right, guys, as these two get ready to do battle, what are you expecting out of this matchup?
I have high expectations from Hua because he's a fellow Minnesotan.
Okay, all right. You're playing for the home team. I see what Koopa's angle is here, Clay. Yes. What about you? You got anything that you think we should be looking out for, given their boxes?
Not too much that I can really speak on myself. Both kind of under the radar a little bit. You don't hear too much about them, but I think both of them are able to, have a great match and show us a good match either way.
Hold on, stand by 1 sec.
And Jamar, our tournament official, is working with above.
Change the server, so we're going to have to play through the tutorial.
Now, you had said that, one of these guys
apparently
are the radar. I know what that's like being from a player with, as that type of player with when I was M2, a lot of people had said, oh, who is this guy, He just ended up beating Hua, where did this guy come from? So it'd be cool to see one of these guys, that maybe we're not familiar with, to be able to do well and go far in this tournament.
Yeah, stand by. It's going to be a minute.
All right, we're still working right now to sort out the server issue with our tournament official. As above, apparently they're going to have to play through the tutorial side of.
Oh yeah,
it's the best part of the game.
I was going to say it's never fun when you log into the game and it's on a server that you're not actually a player on, and it actually puts you through the tutorial, and it takes a few minutes to do some of those quests, and then switch back over to the server that you're actually on.
When is the last time that you were guilty of that?
I would probably say a couple months ago.
Really?
It happens
as recently as a couple months ago.
You probably think.
Look at Koopa's quiet over there. I feel like it happened earlier today.
Sometimes we do that with our, on our broadcasts or on our content that we do. We do things with our viewers, and sometimes we do summons for, the people that we are friends. We try and have moments together. Because when you're summoning in a game like Summoner's War, and you're finding some of these Nat 5s, some of these really rare units. It's what keeps this game very personal to you. When you get let's say a Water Chimera or an LD Nat 5, that is a moment that you're probably never going to forget, and it's one of the reasons why you might play Summoner's War long term, and why you maybe it just means much to you, so much to you, is because your account is not the same to the guy next to you. Like Laetano's account and my account, we're very different. We played a ton, but that's what just keeps it personal. And so right from the tutorial, your very first scroll could be something that you open up, and it's something that Barian doesn't have, or I don't have, And that's one of the alluring things about the game that keeps a lot of us playing.
There's still a measure of uniqueness despite the leveling of the
Right.
playing field once you get up into these G3 strata. You know, Hua, who we see waiting this, standing by as we work through this tutorial snafu, says that people perceive him as a very analytical player, and we actually had a chance to chat with him before the match, talking about strategy a little bit.
So the game is about developing your monsters, and you can, over time, building your monsters and building the rune packages account for many of the scenarios that exist in the game. And the mechanics of the game allow you to overcome much of what your opponent can throw at you. So yes, you can, if you know what they're bringing and you have the monster pool and the runes, yes, you can counter, I'd say 95% of what they can bring.
His favorite moment in the game was summoning Nikki on Christmas Eve. How about that for a Christmas present?
Right. No,
Yes, I would take a Nikki any day.
I would take an LD Nat 5 at this point. I would take anything. I would take anything.
Any LD Nat 5 is
Right.
either a trophy monster or something that's usable. They're just so much fun to play around with, different ways to use them, and it makes your account unique that a lot of other players don't have those same monsters as you.
And on the topic of monsters, why don't we listen in on Above with his favorite?
My favorite monster would probably be Perna. I just like how strong it can hit and how it can survive for a longer time while also being a support monster to the team.
So we'll see if he brings out Perna in this first match.
Right, exactly, and whether or not Nikki maybe shows up on the other side of things. It's funny because Above, as I'm looking at the other games that he used to play, based on his comments, Super Smash Brothers, Call of Duty, and says he's an aggressive player. It all adds up. Story checks out. We're still standing by, waiting to get the match underway. This is where the nerves can possibly creep in if you're unprepped. You know,
The longer
anything
you're
that's
standing
out of
there.
expectation, out of the ordinary, right? You're like, let's go, chomping at the bit.
I know they were probably both ready a moment ago. Then he saw the tutorial, and now it's kind of psyching them out. But you know, they should be fine. They're up there. They're at stage. I think it's actually a little bit more of an anxious feeling as you're walking up to the stage. But once you're there, I think that's when you can start to relax in your element.
Yeah.
Go ahead and log in. All right, so he's logging in right now.
The tutorial has been complete.
Nice work. Not what he was expecting to have to do as he took his position at the podium.
Even the top players in the
We just have to
game
make sure he's ready.
through the tutorial.
We need to make sure he understands.
And while we wait on that, let's take a look at this side of the bracket so far, revisiting the players who have punched their ticket into the quarterfinal. On this side of the bracket, rather, which we're just kicking off, we see Hua and Above. Archer, Varian, and Faint Memory on the opposite side of the bracket already moved forward. The fourth match from the opposite side, Make It a Bud and Brain Lag, have yet to take their first round match.
Yeah, so like I said before, like once the match is over, just jump right into the next game. You don't have to wait for any of us or anything like that. And as soon as it's all done, just clear the stage, and Maria will grab one of you guys for an interview.
Oh,
Sound good?
okay. Man, how do I go to...
I'll help you out.
Okay.
Go ahead and here. All right, so you're gonna go to the Goodwill Battle. Goodwill RTA. And then Goodwill Battle, and then Goodwill Contest, and then the room is LAR.
L-A-R?
Yep. And then go ahead and hit.
Oh, that's it? Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
That
no
was-
worries.
Search.
That's gonna be the top one there. And then the password's 3578.
3578.
Did we just divulge a password on the stream?
I think we may have.
No,
These are not the droids you're looking for.
absolutely not.
All right, so go
You
ahead and
didn't
do
hear
your count.
anything.
Like that movie from with the zoo with the penguin. You didn't see anything.
Oh, right. The penguins, the Madagascar
No, you didn't.
penguins. No, none at all.
Got a couple people look like they're entering the room.
And
That's okay.
I'm told we are ready to get this match underway at long last. Hua and above. Our thanks to all of you for your patience, and let's get drafting. First turn
right
to
into
above.
it. Above, going with the Wusa pick. Popular pick at Mobile Masters with you, Cooper.
My
What do you think
favorite.
about that one?
My favorite. No, Wusa is an extraordinary pick. He offers immunity. He does sustain, so he has kind of like a multi-purpose built-in one. But Hua answering back with the Molong needs some sort of stripper to be able to go up against Wusa if he's not going to be able to ban them. You might want to try and have one more offensive stripper from Hua if he can, if he plans to not ban the Wusa. And oh, we actually get to see the Nikki.
We see the Nikki and the Perna, both monsters that each of them had said that they like in both of their interviews there. But we also see the light Sky Dancer there, Yeonhong, again in this match as well, that we saw so important in the last match. However, I do like Nikki as a dark Nat 5 in Hua's monster box because it offers a lot of things. It has a cleanse, it has the AoE ability, and it has a lot of different utilities that are pretty scary. It adds a lot of survivability to Hua's team.
Versatile pick.
Absolutely.
We have an accuracy lead from Hua, which is going to be very important going up against the resist lead that was chosen from above.
Resist lead is super, super important in RTA, especially going against, I believe Hua had Okeanos. So missing a couple of those stuns could be the deciding factor in the entire match.
It was smart that we saw the ban on Wusa because now Okeanos, and the stun on Okeanos from the Orion. Very, very smart stun.
That is a clutch stun. I don't know about smart, but it is extremely, extremely lucky from the Orion to land that on Okeanos, and Perna able to almost one-shot the Okeanos just that easy, and having the Okeanos out of the match could be, but here comes the Nikki, and Girl's Prayer brings him right back to life. Doesn't have a whole lot of attack power, it looks like, on the Nikki, and not healing it a whole lot.
Smart choice, stunning the big Yanni, unable to reset cooldowns. Did not resist the stun.
And decides to use skill 2 from Orion. Not something you see a whole lot, but it's
gotta set up
offering
this
that
Perna.
defense
Perna's
break
doing
for
solid damage.
Absolutely, there goes, and able to take down Okeanos
With the
and almost a single turn, able to take down Okeanos and Sierra, completely hindering above in this match. Or I'm sorry, that's Hua in this match.
This Perna hits harder than any unit I have.
Yes,
It's
it
extremely
is.
hard. It's rare to see a unit hit that hard within the first couple turns of a match with no scaling, no attack scaling.
Absolutely.
So to see a unit hit that hard up against units that have a lot of HP relatively. You see some of these units like Ciara, variant Ciara, you see it's actually really, really tanky and built with a lot of effective life to be able to sustain multiple hits from a Perna, sometimes even with a defense break.
Yeah, absolutely. And you saw as well, the only hope that I think Hua had to get back in this match was to land maybe a full team stun or just one player or one unit on Above's team, but did not land a single stun from his second skill. And that's, again, you don't see things going in Hua's favor right now, even with him being behind in this match.
I think with part of what Hua was thinking that maybe his Okeanos was going to get that first turn with Ciara's speed lead, and so he may have been caught off guard by how fast that Orion was, and was able to get that lucky stun on the Okeanos.
Yeah.
And that right there could be one of the big takeaways, is now he knows that Orion is very fast. Even with the speed lead from the Ciara's, Okeanos isn't fast enough to be able to get the cooldown reset or even have the option to stun. So we should see a little bit of a different draft from both of them.
My takeaway is I'm glad I never had to play above in Super Smash Brothers. That looked aggressive.
Looks like Hua went with a different strategy here. Well, actually, he's getting the first pick this time, so he goes with Ganymede, and then above going with the same Wusa and Sierra this time from above. He is changing his strategy. He was able to take away Above's favorite monster, Perna, and giving his team a little bit of survivability. I like the two Rakuni and Perna picks together. They offer a whole lot of support to the Ganymede. But it looks like Above is answering back now with a couple water monsters. He has the Wusa that he picked already, but now he is
really not
hovering over Molong, and there goes the Orion once again.
Now, Hua knows this. He knows this Orion is fast, so either he has a choice. He needs to get a speed lead, or he has to get something that's faster. Because at this point, he's at that, you know, he could have that chance where Harmless Prank comes in and he could get that stun. And there it is, Ragdoll Iris.
A very, very nice choice from Hua. We like to see those rare monsters, and Ragdoll is definitely one of them, and a extremely powerful monster.
Look at all those
in
passives
RTA.
on Hua's team. Will we see?
Yeah, 4 passives.
I know, 4 passives.
I don't know. Are we going to see a certain monster? What do you think? Is he looking for it right now?
I would be. There's
ends up
Water
going with
Fairy King speed lead,
Cement.
setting up above, getting 2 speed leads. He's going to it pretty much locks in to get first turn up against Hua. He has Ciara, he has Water Fairy King. He knows his Orion is fast. So Hua is trying to design a team that can have the sustainability to survive that.
And the bans are down. Looks like Sierra will be out on this one from above. And Ganymede's down on Hua's end. Full water team from above going against 2 fire monsters and some LDs. So it looks like just by the attribute advantage is in above's favor for this one.
Not a good sign for Hua, who's got his back up against the wall, down 1-0 here in these single elimination matches.
He's from Minnesota. He's going to figure it out. Just watch.
Oh wow, another clutch stun from that Orion, able to lock down the Iris on the right-hand side to let his buffs last a little bit longer now with the immunity.
But trying not to activate that passive from Ragdoll, trying not to get as much crits. When he crits that team, it's a 20% attack bar boost for Hua's entire team. So it's an extremely strong passive that Hua has to work with right now.
And you can see the amount of damage that Perna was able to put on the Molong. Not a whole lot at that because of the attribute advantage from Molong, and we'll see if this plays out a little bit more in Above's advantage in this one.
Yeah, I think Above was looking for the sleep with Wusa onto the Perna, saving the second skill to heal a little bit later when some of the HP was down. It's probably looking to heal about the second turn though.
That Molong is not taking any damage. He is extremely tanky. Able to even heal him up now with Wusa. See if he gets another lucky stun.
It's one of the things that Hua will have to fight through here is that he doesn't have a way to defense break Above's team right now. So he needs a ton of attack to be able to beat through. And with a unit like Molong, it's really tricky to do because he has so much HP.
And it's rough with having fire monsters trying to take down tanky water monsters. Without a defense break, it just makes it so much harder. So you're not only hoping for the crit, but you're just hoping for the damage to come through.
I like this. And maybe
able to take it down, and this could be in Hua's favor now just by taking out Molong. You can see it in Above's face. He does. He's smiling there. He's like, okay, this might be something that I have to figure out how to turn around from here.
That was the big hurdle to this point for Hua. That was the
Absolutely.
test. Can he get through the Panda?
Absolutely. That was the Panda that was standing in his way. And now he's just making quick work of the 2 support monsters and some math. But still having that Ragdoll in there, I think the Ragdoll could potentially even solo the team once he gets out the Orion.
Yeah, because we don't know if he's on Vampire or not yet. And once Ragdoll's health gets lower, if he hits hard enough, he can heal himself all the way back to full.
Yeah, and one of the things about Ragdoll is that he doesn't do much. He's just kind of sitting there, relaxing, having his passive do all the work for him, deals a couple of damage on his second skill here and there. But when he starts losing HP is when he starts really coming into a huge factor, especially later on in the game. And it looks like he is going to be able to take down the Orion, able to land a crit, and this could be the end for Above.
Down to just 2 units as the onslaught continues from Hua.
Lots of damage from that Iris, almost taking down the full HP from the Samat there, not able to take it down though on the Perna, and does a huge chunk of damage on that Perna from Samat.
I told you the guy from Minnesota.
Yeah, you told us he was going to figure it out. Looks like he is figuring out. A lot of damage though from the Samat. Almost took down half HP on all the monsters on Hua's end, but don't think it's going to be enough.
Yeah, too little, too late.
Too late.
And at this point, I think it's Above is kind of just looking to figure out, you know, okay, you got me this time. What can I do? What worked well in that first match? Is there a way to try and get the match to kind of go in that same way? He picked a lot. They both picked very different units, but this was part of Hua's strategy, is that he started picking what Above used in the first match.
Which is an effective way of banning.
Exactly.
During the draft stage.
Exactly.
And Above actually quit out early, so he didn't take that extra time that you saw some of the other players.
He knows what he's going to do. Get it all figured out.
Yeah, he's already know. He's like, okay,
calculated.
I understand, and I'm going to make the adjustments, and let's just get right to it.
And you caught it, Clay, as soon as the Water Panda was done for, that was the big hurdle, and it felt like, you know, the writing was somewhat on the wall so long as it was proper execution on the other side from Hua, which indeed it was. As we get to the draft here in the rubber match, the third game of this confrontation between Hua and Above.
And you see Above, actually, these guys are picking each other's units so often, and now you see Above actually take the Perna along with his Molong, so now his Molong can't die to, you know, basically die to the same unit that it died to in the previous match. So these guys are doing they're really breaking this down and trying to take each other's units right now to be able to see who's going to take down this match best 2 out of 3.
Yeah, definitely a great point there, Koopa. You know, you see the monsters that Above picked the first time, and then Hua picked them the second time. Hua picked the monsters the first time, Above took them the second time, and it's just back and forth taking those same monsters. And you know, Hua has a couple monsters in his box that aren't something that Above has. Now Above has a monster in his box that's not something that Hua has. They choose those absolutely last, so that way they know that they don't have to worry about those getting taken from them.
What I want to know is, where are they getting these LD Nat 5s from? That's what
I wish I knew.
How do they have them? Where do they come from?
Are they on the roulette wheel up there?
I have to go check later.
Defensive picking can be risky business, though, if you're not able to execute. It's not just about drafting for the purposes of blocking, but you got to also put it together in a way that's going to be effective.
Yeah, you have to build a counterattack. You have to somehow build that momentum up and be able to put pressure back on them so you're not on defense the entire time.
And it's having those counter monsters runed appropriately as well, and not trying to counter so much where you're spreading yourself so thin on your runes where you don't have them runed correctly to be effective in a super competitive play.
Above here in a really strong position with full immunity on the team. Gani unable to do anything. Ciara unable to do anything. Can't land bombs to the immunity. However, Fairy King with the strip on Perna, opening up the Ciara potentially able to stun. However, already loses his Frigate from a really strong opener from Above here.
Yeah, now it makes it 4 units to 3 at a super early stage of the game. However, there is a bomb on Perna. That's okay though. If it gets, I was gonna say if it gets bombed, it can come back.
Reset the cooldown
now
on Perna.
It does reset the cooldown on Perna, and if Perna dies, he's not coming back.
Above's pride and joy in his monster box is that Perna.
There it is. That was really smart with the Orion to get the AoE defense break. Only going to get one more attack from Perna, especially with the double bomb. Promised time from Ciara, though. Perna unable to get a strong hit up against that team with the defense break from Orion.
Double bombs on that Perna. And unfortunately, you saw Molong there try to get stuns on the other team. Didn't land a single one again. Of course, it is a water monster going after 2 wins, but you would expect at least 1 stun, and that could have been a determining factor of the match as well. But now it's evened up 3 units to 3 units. And it looks like this one could be in favor of Hua right now with having those wind units to counter those water units.
Going to be very close to final proc out of the stun wind. Fairy King looking to seal magic on Molong, reducing the attack bar, shutting down Molong's reckless assault as well as the stun potential.
We have yet to see somebody come back from being down 1 game in a match to win the next 2. Could this be the first?
I think it very well can be. He's got that Molong locked down pretty good. He's going to ventilate himself, and then, oh, but Wusa got the turn off right before he could potentially get his reset skill cooldown off on Wusa.
And this is the tough position. Ciara is, you know, an amazing unit, but when you're going up against a team with a full immunity and your only resource to strip the immunity is with your first attack from your Fairy King, it's a tough position for Hua to be in to be able to sustain long enough against the Wusa, Molong, Orion.
Able to remove those buffs, though, off the Molong and completely just take it out of the match completely. Now we're going to land the bomb on Molong. He doesn't even really need to detonate the bomb, but he does go ahead and detonate. And that Raccoon offering that so crucial survivability. Raccoon being a 3-star monster, having a very strong showing at this regional tournament already.
I tell you, here comes Minnesota.
Here comes Minnesota.
Going all the way. We're taking it home.
Called it.
This is still a very close match, though. If he's able to take out either of those monsters, if Bub can take out,
but with Fairy King proccing violent like this to get those strips,
and able to land the strip, and here comes Sierra back, gonna get her bomb back rather in the next couple of turns.
And if you guys are in Abov's position here, are you targeting the Raccoon?
I would personally target the Raccoon. That's the only way he's going to survive this match. But if Ganymede is able to land a skill cooldown,
violent proc right there.
Oh, violent proc to kind of seal the deal. Looks like it might be over. Already taken off the headset there from above.
There it is. While locking in the win, takes down Above, coming back in this matchup.
Not too often that you actually see somebody resign the match. Quit the match early.
We've seen it before, though. We've seen it before.
Two monsters still left, though.
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen that before. Was it a foregone conclusion?
When you're at this level,
the violent proc came through?
When you're at this level, you can kind of tell when your time's pretty much up, and you can either let it go even farther, but in the last round, there's not really too much strategy behind it to, like we said earlier, to kind of think about what your next pick is. It's the last match, and when you know it's over, it's over.
Right.
Yeah.
We've been in matches before where even if you have 4 units versus 4 units before the match has even started, immediately after the pick ban phase, sometimes you just know it's over.
You saw that at Mobile Masters.
Yeah.
Foix picked a couple monsters, knew that he lost from the pick ban stage, and immediately ended up quitting out of the stage.
Like 3 or 4 units left. He
Actually
ended up ending it. I just kind of sat there. I was like,
everybody was shocked.
Do that.
I mean,
It was against you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think also you want to put the pressure to your opponent a little bit in order to execute, right? I mean, it's not always a foregone conclusion, but at this stage, you're dealing with G3 guys. I mean, they're not.
You're expecting them to execute, and almost at that point, you could even see an autoplay where it would still be able to have enough damage, enough sustainability to take out the rest of the 2 monsters.
So let us send it down to the victor of that match, the first to come back from being down 1-0, your fellow Minnesotan, Koopa.
All right, I'm ready. I'm excited.
You're the first person to come back from a 1-0 deficit. What adjustments did you make for the second and third game?
Well, when your opponent comes at you in such an aggressive style, you really need to find some place to recover. Ragdoll and Raccoon, Iris, perfect counters to that sort of a comp when you play against it. There you get so many turns, and just had to make that switch.
Sounds like you have a few fans and friends in the audience. Is it fun to be able to compete in front of them?
It is great to have the people that I know from game come out here to LA today. It's been a great opportunity. It's nice to have them here.
All right, awesome. We'll see you in the next round.
Thanks.
All right, so we are halfway through the field of 16. 3 out of the 4 matches that were on the left side of the bracket are down. The right side of the bracket, we had to move to match 5, which was Hawaii and Above. What are you gentlemen's takeaways so far from everything that we've seen?
I would say that 3 out of the 4 matches went to round 3, so we've been seeing a lot of competitive play. But here's another look at the bracket. We have Archer versus Barian, and then Faint Memory hasn't had his teammate or his opponent play yet. And we saw the other match from Foix and Above on the other bracket. But between Archer and Barian, what do you think about that one, Koopa?
Well, I mean, we saw in that first match with Barian versus Chaos that, Chaos almost was able to take him down, with like that really aggressive strategy. And so it's anyone's game.
That third game in that match was a little bit of the RNG.
Right. Yeah, so it could be anyone's game. It could be Archer over Barian. It could be Barian over Archer. We could have seen Barian lost in the very first match.
No doubt about it. And it could be halftime for us as we are going to step aside briefly, but we will be back with the remaining 4 matches of our round of 16.
How much time do
Stay
I have
close.
on this
More
break?
from Los Angeles after this.